predictions. Week 2 of 17 in the NFL season. So, here are our games for this week. Not a lot of inter-conference games, or interconference, between the conferences, whatever you call it. We'll start with the AFC, then go to the NFC, and then I will do the cross-conference games. So, Chargers versus the Chiefs. You guys know, big fan of Herbert, the Chargers in general, but for as good as they looked in the first half against the Raiders, that second half, particularly that fourth quarter against the Raiders, really had me concerned, and Justin Herbert did not look comfortable or good against that Raiders team at the end of that game. Now, Derek Carr kind of choked away his opportunity to take that game back. He had two very good opportunities where he could have ended up winning that game, but he was unable to capitalize. Patrick Mahomes will not have that same problem. Patrick Mahomes put up 5 touchdowns week 1, and the Kansas City Chiefs have a better defense than the Raiders. I think that this is going to be a pretty, I don't want to say it'll be easy, but I think the Chiefs should win this without too much trouble. So we're going to go Chiefs winning that game, the Thursday night game, the first game of this week. Alright, Patriots versus the Steelers. Thankfully, TJ Watt does not need surgery. They said he's going to be out about 4 to 6 weeks doing rehab, but it's a torn pec, but like the tendons and ligaments are all okay, so that's about the best possible news that they could have gotten. The Steelers still have a good defense, but for as shaky as this Patriots team is, are they going to be good enough to beat that Steelers defense? I think yes. I think it's going to be a bit of a toss-up, and I don't expect this to be a fantastic game by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm going to go Patriots on this one. I think Patriots go 1-1. Colts had a rough week 1. They're thankful to get a tie instead of getting a loss against the Texans, especially because the Texans, aren't really going to be any good, or they shouldn't be at least. But you have the Jaguars, who just really across the board are not a good team, and Trevor Lawrence, who still hasn't really put it all together yet. Receivers who drop a lot of passes, things like that. I expect the Colts to bounce back and get a win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jets versus the Browns. The Browns gutsed out. They fought out a gutsy win against the Panthers in a tight game. Definitely not a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but the Cleveland Browns did get it done. Jacoby Brissett in QB. I'm pretty sure he'll be there. Yeah, he'll still be there. I don't think Zach Wilson is back yet, so it should be, Flacco? Yeah, Joe Flacco was for the Jets last week. I don't know. I'm not feeling too strongly about this either way. Kind of like the Steelers game. I think this one will be a toss-up, but I'm going to go Browns. I'm going to go Browns on that one. Dolphins at Ravens. I was Ravens last week. Who did they? Over the Jets, yeah, 24-9. Dolphins beat the Patriots. They did so in fairly convincing fashion, but Tua Tagovailoa still hasn't really shown me a ton. I felt like he was kind of quiet in that game, and I think the Ravens are just going to be too much for the Dolphins, so I'm going to go Baltimore on that one. Texans versus the Broncos. This is in Mile High Stadium. Obviously, the Broncos with Russell Wilson week 1 did not get it done against my Seahawks. They came very close, though. They came pretty close, and they put up a ton of yards. Like, Wilson put up 300 plus yards in that game. He had a nice deep ball touchdown. And the Texans, the Seahawks are bad. So I'm not going to say, like, the Texans aren't as good as the Seahawks, because the Seahawks are going to be bad this season, but the Texans are also bad. And the Broncos should be better. It's going to be a much less hostile environment. They'll be home in Denver. The crowd will be on the side of the Broncos. They're not going to be booing the team. They're not going to be loud when the team's trying to, go into huddle and things. So I think Russell Wilson and the Broncos bounce back. They take week 2 against the Texans. And then Titans at Bills in Buffalo. Derrick Henry looked human last week, did not look like his usual self. Titans, even though they did get they took the L. That's right, who did they play? They played the Giants. They lost by 1 to the Giants. It was close. But the Bills just got done dismantling the defending Super Bowl champ Los Angeles Rams. I think they're going to win this game by a pretty healthy margin as well. I'm going to go Buffalo Bills. Alright, NFC. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. The Bucks, what did they put up last? They beat the brakes off of the Dallas Cowboys. But the Cowboys were facing injury issues, and I think Tom Brady only got 1 touchdown against the Cowboys in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I actually like this Saints team this season. I mean, call me crazy, but I just think they look pretty good. I've always, kind of been a Jameis Winston believer, weirdly enough. Hold on, I gotta take I got a Dr. Pepper from Wendy's here. I've always been kind of a Jameis Winston believer, especially after the LASIK eye surgery. He's been better. The interceptions can still be an issue sometimes, but I don't know. I just like Jameis Winston. New Orleans against Tampa. I'm gonna go upset alert on this one. I'm gonna go New Orleans beats the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 2. It's gonna be an upset, but I think they get that win. Panthers versus Giants. Saquon Barkley just ran all over the Titans last week, and the Titans have a better defense than the Panthers, I would say, and I think he's going to do it again this coming Sunday. I would love it for Baker Mayfield to be able to get his first W as the starting quarterback of the Panthers, but I do not think he is going to get that this week in New York. I think the Giants are going to start the season 2-0. I think they beat the Carolina Panthers. Commanders at Lions. Last week the Lions lost by 3 to the Eagles, and the Commanders barely beat a very bad Jaguars team. I actually think that Lions team has a little more offensive firepower. The Commanders do have a pretty good defense, but I am going to... This is another toss-up game. I don't feel too strongly about this, but I'm going to go Lions on this one. I think the Lions beat the Commanders in that game. I think they put up the better performance last week against a better team. I think barely losing to the Eagles is a better game than barely beating the Jaguars. Alright, Rams at Falcons. The Falcons are going to be bad. They've already got an L. The Rams are going to want to bounce back after that week 1 loss where it was kind of an embarrassing loss for them, especially at home where the crowd was against them in their home stadium. I think they get a win over the Falcons here in week 2, and they go 1-1. Seahawks at San Francisco. I want to be confident in my team after week 1 and say that the Seahawks are going to go into San Francisco where they have insane home crowd support and get a win, especially because the Seahawks have kind of terrorized the 49ers over the last few seasons. But I just really don't see them doing that. I'm going to go San Francisco winning that game. And you know what, I bet against the Seahawks last week and they proved me wrong, so maybe if I just keep betting against them, they're going to keep proving me wrong, and I'm fine with that. Bears at Green Bay. Obviously, Lambeau Field is like a cemetery for the hopes and dreams of the Chicago Bears and their fan base. But, you know, the Packers did not look great week 1. Obviously, there's going to be some rust getting shaken off going into weeks 2 and 3 for Aaron Rodgers. But he has a lot of young receivers. He doesn't have a lot of great weapons this season. Am I saying that the Bears do? No, I'm not going to say that. The Bears, who'd they beat week 1? That was they beat the Niners by 9. And the Packers got blown out by the Vikings. This is going to be a huge upset, probably. Yeah, definitely a big upset, but I'm going to go Bears. I like getting a few upsets in there. Now finally for the NFC, we have the Vikings in Philadelphia going against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts looked really good week 1. Probably one of the best quarterback performances in week 1, but Kirk Cousins absolutely took it to the Packers. I think this is going to be a close game, but I'm going to go Vikings. That's my gut feeling. Also, I feel like I picked too many home teams here, so I want to mix it up a little bit. I'm going Vikings, but I'm not 100% confident in that prediction. Cardinals at Raiders. Neither team looks fantastic, right? Neither team really looks good, but man, Cardinals at Raiders. You know, the Raiders were in that game until the very end. They were in that game till the very end. It was just a couple careless turnovers. The Cardinals got absolutely blown out. Obviously, they put up 21. It was against Mahomes, but I think if Derek Carr tightens up his game a little bit, a little better ball security, I think the Raiders can win this game. And then finally, Bengals in Dallas. Micah Parsons is going to cause some issues for the Bengals, but other than that, you know, Dak's down. I don't even know what his name is, their backup QB. Dallas Cowboys media fans already saying their season's over, their hopes are dashed. I don't really see the Bengals losing this, especially after Joe Burrow. It seems like he really took that week 1 loss pretty hard. I think he's going to be determined. He's going to come into this game focused and wanting to prove a point, to prove himself. I'm going Bengals over Cowboys. So, to recap, in the AFC, I have the Chiefs beating the Chargers. I have the Patriots beating the Steelers. I have the Colts beating the Jaguars. I have the Browns beating the Jets. I have the Ravens beating the Dolphins. I have the Broncos beating the Texans and the Bills beating the Titans. In the NFC, I have the Saints beating the Buccaneers. I have the Giants beating the Panthers. I have the Lions beating the Commanders. I have the Rams beating the Falcons. I have the 49ers beating the Seahawks. I have the Bears beating the Packers. And I have the Vikings beating the Eagles. And then for our AFC versus NFC games, I have the Raiders beating the Cardinals and the Bengals beating the Cowboys. So there they are, my week 2 NFL predictions. guys think in the comments down below. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? What are you looking forward to seeing your team do in week 2 of the NFL? What do you think is going to happen? I'd love to hear any and all feedback. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single day. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.